You're sitting at your kitchen table late at night staring at your bank account. You and your partner both work full-time. Together you earn over 6 figures. On paper you should feel comfortable, stable, maybe even ahead. But instead, you're calculating whether replacing your car tires needs to wait another month. You're wondering if ordering takeout was a bad decision. You're debating if you can afford a weekend trip without feeling guilty afterward. You did everything right. You got the degree, built the career, bought the house in a decent neighborhood, followed the plan that society promised would lead to stability. So why does it still feel like you're running uphill with a backpack full of bricks? Most people grow up believing one simple rule about money: earn more and life gets easier. We're taught that reaching 6 figures means financial comfort, that 2 incomes automatically equal financial strength, that working harder guarantees stability. But here's the uncomfortable truth. For many families, the second income doesn't create freedom. Instead of acting like extra fuel, it becomes oxygen. And once your lifestyle requires that oxygen, losing it isn't inconvenient. It's catastrophic. The real milestone isn't earning more money. It's building a life that doesn't collapse when income changes. Over the last few decades, something quiet but powerful happened. Essential costs rose faster than wages. Housing, healthcare, childcare, transportation, and education didn't just increase. They multiplied. When households gained a second income, markets adjusted. Housing prices increased because families could bid more. Childcare costs exploded. And here's the cruel irony. Many second incomes now primarily pay for childcare that exists because both parents are working. You work to pay someone to watch your kids so you can work. Transportation costs doubled because 2 jobs often meant 2 vehicles. Insurance, commuting, parking, the expenses multiply. 2 incomes stop being an advantage. They became the minimum requirement just to participate in middle-class life. Imagine running a race where the finish line keeps moving further away every time you run faster. That's what modern financial life feels like for many dual-income households. And then there's the hidden emotional shift that changes everything. When both incomes become essential, your sense of safety quietly disappears. In single-income households decades ago, the second adult often represented potential backup income. If the primary earner lost their job, the household still had a reserve option. Today, many families start with both adults already working at full capacity. There's no reserve left. There's no safety net waiting in the background. That creates constant pressure, not loud panic, but quiet, persistent stress. The feeling that everything depends on everything continuing exactly as it is. And life rarely works that way. Let's look at how the numbers actually play out. Dual-income households typically earn significantly more than single-income households from previous generations, but their fixed costs have grown even faster. Housing alone often consumes 40 to 50% of household income in major cities, far beyond the traditional 30% recommendation. Add healthcare premiums, transportation costs, insurance, groceries, utilities, and debt payments, and most families discover something surprising. After taxes and fixed expenses, very little remains. Not for investing, not for emergency savings, not for long-term security. Sometimes less than $1,000 per month remains for everything unpredictable life throws at you. Car repairs, medical bills, home maintenance, unexpected job loss. The paycheck grows. The breathing room shrinks. It's like upgrading to a bigger boat, only to discover the water level rose at the same time. The 2-income trap rarely feels like a trap while it's happening. It begins with reasonable decisions. Buying a slightly better home because you qualify, choosing the best school district you can afford, financing reliable transportation for demanding jobs. Each decision makes sense individually. Together, they quietly raise your baseline cost of living. Lifestyle inflation doesn't announce itself. It builds slowly, one upgrade at a time, until your income growth no longer creates progress. By the time families recognize the pressure, reversing it becomes difficult. Fixed costs are stubborn. Mortgages, car loans, and childcare commitments don't adjust easily. And when both partners work full-time, time becomes the rarest resource. When time disappears, spending often increases. Convenience replaces preparation, takeout replaces home cooking, and paid services handle tasks you once did yourself. These choices aren't about laziness. They're about exhaustion. Financial planners sometimes call this the exhaustion tax. The cost of outsourcing tasks you no longer have the energy to handle. The transformation isn't just financial, it's personal. You shift from someone who controls money to someone who reacts to it. Habits slowly change. Budgeting feels overwhelming. Long-term planning gets postponed. Spending becomes emotional relief from stress rather than intentional decision-making. You're earning more than ever, but you're also spending more than ever just to keep the machine running. Here's where the conversation changes direction. Some families are discovering a different strategy, one that feels counterintuitive at first. They structure their entire lifestyle around surviving on one income. The second income becomes dedicated to saving, investing, and eliminating debt. This approach creates options, real options. If one partner loses a job, the household still functions. If one partner wants wants to change careers, start a business, or take time off, it becomes possible. Instead of both incomes holding the system together, one income builds stability while the other builds freedom. For families already deep in the trap, this shift requires time. But even small movements in this direction create breathing room. You don't have to restructure your entire life overnight. You can start by directing raises and bonuses toward this goal rather than inflating your lifestyle further. The principle is simple. Protect your flexibility before you optimize your comfort. That shift changes everything. Many people focus on cutting small expenses, skipping coffee, canceling subscriptions, reducing entertainment costs. Those choices matter, but they rarely determine long-term financial outcomes. The biggest financial decisions are housing, transportation, and education choices. These fixed costs shape your financial future far more than daily spending habits. Choosing a house slightly below your maximum affordability can free thousands of dollars every year. Driving reliable used vehicles instead of financing new ones can eliminate long-term debt pressure. Living slightly below your maximum affordability isn't about sacrifice. It's about flexibility. It's choosing maneuverability over appearance. It's keeping options open instead of locking them down. Financial pressure doesn't just affect your bank account. It changes how you approach your entire life. When both incomes are essential, job decisions become survival decisions. Risk-taking decreases. Career changes feel dangerous. Negotiating salaries feels risky. Starting businesses feels impossible. But when a household has financial breathing room, career decisions shift. People pursue growth opportunities. They invest in new skills. They consider entrepreneurship. They negotiate from confidence instead of fear. And the impact extends beyond careers. Every dollar locked into fixed expenses carries an invisible cost. It's not just money spent. It's opportunity removed. It's the business not started. The career change not attempted. The time not spent with family. The year abroad not experienced. The stress not avoided. Opportunity cost is rarely visible because it represents paths never taken. But over decades, those invisible costs often become the largest ones. Financial independence isn't built by maximizing income alone. It's built by protecting flexibility. The two-income trap doesn't mean earning more money is bad. It means income alone doesn't guarantee security. True financial stability comes from designing a lifestyle that doesn't require every dollar you earn just to stay afloat. It means resisting the pressure to compete in financial arms races. It means understanding that the goal isn't to earn the most money possible. The goal is to keep enough of it to create options, because options create freedom. Freedom reduces stress, and reduced stress allows you to build a life that feels stable instead of fragile. Most people don't fall into the two-income trap overnight. They step into it gradually through perfectly reasonable choices. Whether you can restructure your entire lifestyle today or need to make gradual changes over years, recognizing the pattern is the first step, because once you recognize it, you gain something powerful, the ability to choose differently. Financial security is not determined by how many incomes you earn. It is determined by how many incomes your lifestyle requires.